Alright, all you insomniatic TV channel surfers out there for tonight, welcome back to the Tuesday Night Special. Now, originally folks, we were gonna have a weekend update to explain to you guys what we did this past weekend, but with the fact that the only thing we did was just prepare for shows and shoot zombies with our friend Juju all weekend, we didn't really do that much. So instead, I think it's time for us to pick up those channel remotes and go channel surfing for another edition of that scene on TV. And to properly wrap up this year in the weirdest way we know how for this AC December, folks, we decided to go with shows that some of you may have never heard of, or some of you who have heard of these said shows and wish that they would put a spotlight on them. And with the Wheel of Misfortune's help, we decided to go to the network of Fox Family during their show known as The Basement. And the show we picked for this week from that Wheel of Misfortune is none other than the show known as Walter Melon. Yes, that's right, folks, a show that was entitled Walter Melon. And the meat and potatoes of this said show, folks, features Walter Melon and his sidekick Bitterbug, who would be heroes for hire for any hero that would be sick or fall victim to an unfortunate accident during any circumstance of their heroic duties. And one prime example of that, I would think as one of my favorite episodes, would have to be probably the episode that featured Han Solo getting sucked into the vacuum of space after one of the windows broke on the Millennium Falcon, causing him to get shot out into space right after he said, "It's my way or the skyway." Yeah, I didn't get it, and I'm not sure they were able to save him from space, so I think he technically died during that episode. Well, Han Solo, that is. I'm not sure about Cool Hand Luke Skywalker, but I know that Solo probably died during that episode, but they didn't talk about it much. And yeah, another thing we forgot to mention during the meat and potatoes is that the main villain that this guy fights during the said show, who is a villain for hire in case the villain gets hurt, is a guy that goes by the name of Snero. And he looks like a mixture of one of those, I guess, troll dolls that you would see in the store and the Joker. And one of my favorite episodes featuring him has to be the one where they're doing a mock episode of Top Gun that they call Top Fun, which involves airplanes that had paintballs in them that would shoot paint at the other planes, and the one who would actually come out clean on the other side would be the winner, and he wanted to be Top Fun and just decide to throw down his helmet and do one of those Yosemite Sam stomp the ground sort of moments on his helmet, which I thought as a little kid was hilarious. But besides my favorite episodes, folks, for this said show, and the fact that we're going a little bit out of order this week, this show originated on the network called The Basement, which was a part of a show network called Fox Family. Or actually a show part, sort of like what Toonami was back in the day. This was Fox Family's Toonami's equivalent for when kids got just right out of school, like me, for example. And this show did get lost in the shuffle because it was featured during other great shows like Pee-wee's Playhouse, Monster Farm. I do believe another show that was called The Three Friends and Jerry, and Eek Extravaganza, that actually shadowed and eclipsed this show on a regular basis. And I think this show came on right before Pee-wee's Playhouse did, if I remember correctly back in the day, which was the reason most people clicked off and waited until Pee-wee's Playhouse came on. And another thing that I loved about this show, besides the fact of the cool episodes of parodies that they would have for superheroes, definitely would have to be the different form of characters that they would have in this said show, including, and I kid you not, Walter Melon turning into not only one of the members of the Power Rangers, Tarzan, Mad Max, the Incredible Hulk, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, and even James Bond after he would suffer an unfortunate laser accident, causing him to call in sick as a superhero. And unfortunately for this show, folks, we have no idea, and many people don't have any idea when this show first debuted, but we will tell you this show is well over 21 years old, debuting in 1998, and would only last 1 year with only 52 episodes that would span the entire library. Not bad, but really wish I would have seen this show in the future, and the only incarnation of that we would get, and this is a technicality, and Maestro said we're grasping in straws for this one, but if you ever heard of a show called The Replacements, that's what I think is the, successor to this show of Walter Melon. Which I'm okay with, because that show's pretty fun too, especially with the card that reminds me of, I guess, Speed Racer with a combination of Knight Rider in it as well, especially with all the cool gadgets that are in it. And before we forget, folks, and thank you for reminding me, Maestro, another thing that I loved about this show was the parody music that they went, that I got a feeling they tried to use to avoid copyrights against them for Star Wars and all of the other parody, like, superheroes and events that would take place during the said show, which is pretty good. Especially the one they did for Top Gun, which had this weird theme that sounded like Danger Zone, but not quite the same. Yeah, very impressive. And seeing the fact that we don't know how to review shows along the lines of TV Guide or any of those other famous TV reviewers you know of out there, we say this. If you guys want to watch a superhero that replaces superheroes, who goes around with a big nose and a pin-like head, that has an assistant that looks like Barnacle Boy from SpongeBob SquarePants, followed up by a guy who looks like a knockoff version of the Joker, who goes around trying to terrorize him while he tries to replace the heroes that he's trying to be himself, then I recommend you go out there, pick up your TV channel remotes, and watch that show. And if you can't find it on your local TVs, folks, it is still available on YouTube as we speak. And hopefully it's still up there, because I got a feeling we're gonna watch it after the show's over. And with that said, folks, we might as well head back to this music once again. And when we return, we'll be back with another World Tour edition of the IndieK Triple S Deluxe right after this. So don't go anywhere just yet, folks, and stay tuned.